you listen to reason? Will you open your eyes? It's a wonder what you'll find with an open mind. You may be surprised. Yeah, gotta get away from this illusion for the sake of the world. This delusion, it's gotta go.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Atheist Experience. I'm your host, Russell Glasser, and with me today is Tracy Harris. And everything you need to know about the show should be found on the website, www.atheist-experience.com. And now let's start the show. Hey! Seriously, though. As you may have heard, this is Tracy and I are going to be the guinea pigs in the very first show that unfortunately has been cut down to an hour. And so we're trying to abridge the announcements going forward, and hopefully everybody knows enough about the show already. So we can start lining up those calls. And what do we got going on today?
Well,
What?
I had done a conversation about intercessory prayer.
Oh, sure.
Not really.
I was really. You don't really have to talk.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But I don't think they've queued up the calls yet. So.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just somebody had asked about a quote that I had put on a Facebook, and it said, "Give a man a fish, and he'll eat for a day. Give a man religion, and he'll starve to death praying for a fish."
Right.
And
okay.
so, everybody started commenting and giving their own little twist on different quotes like that, just goofy things. And someone said the quote was, illustrated a misunderstanding of prayer and what prayer is about. And they were saying that prayer is about an internal change and not really any, to try to portray it as something that represents, a real wish for a material change is a
so
misunderstanding.
Much for moving mountains with faith the size of a grain of mustard.
But what I did is I went online, because I don't generally like to portray, like to say this is what people believe. I like to go and get what they believe and provide it. So I went online and I did a search for prayer plus testimonials and found loads of people saying, financial assistance, physical healing, just started loading the links and saying, here you go, here you go, here you go.
Yeah, what a surprise.
This is what the people praying are saying about it. And, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, people believe so many different things about prayer that, people believe so many different things about everything that I've always kind of winced when somebody says, that's not what people were, that's not what it really means. Because
right.
What it really means is open to interpretation.
Right.
And it's like that lady who called for the last 2 shows in a row and kept saying that she knew stuff because she had personal experience, and and those other people who interpret the Bible their way are just wrong. And
right.
trying to present herself as like the more open-minded one who understands the real interpretation of it, when she's just the opposite side of what they're doing.
Exactly. And I came up with an analogy for the idea. I think the idea came up that, this helps people because it gives them hope.
That's not Russell Glasser.
Helps people because it gives them hope, and it gives them something positive in their life, and that the idea that something is going to help them. And I said, well, let's just say that I live in a city and I take an ad out in the local paper, and I say that I'm a businessman with a load of experience, I'm retired, and I'm so touched by the economy right now and what's going on and all these people losing their jobs that I'm willing to, for free, help anybody find a job based on my connections and my experience with the economy and with business in the town. And all you have to do is, I live in a house outside the city, you have to drive an hour, come and meet with me, talk to me for 30 minutes, and then drive back, give me your resume, a vitae, whatever you've got, and I will then use that to try and hook you up with some of my connections, get you work. So a reporter hears about this and says, wow, what a nice thing to do. Just the goodness of your heart, help people out because you care. Comes down and says, how does this work? And I say, well, they come down, they bring me the resume, they talk to me for 30 minutes, and then they leave. And he's like, and then what do you do? Do you meet contacts? And I say, no, I just take their stuff and throw it in the garbage. And he's like, well, you don't do anything? No, I just throw it away. I don't do anything. But I like to think that I'm giving these people hope, because they believe when they leave that there's somebody helping them, somebody that has the strings that they can pull to get this person a job, that you can that they go away feeling like they've got that extra help to get a job now. And who would think that I'm anything but an ass for doing such a thing? And even if it's just 2.5 hours of someone's time, does it? It's a cruel thing. It's a
Yeah, I mean, there's a way in which that does make people feel better and might improve their day somewhat. And the value of wasting somebody's time, you could say, is pretty small. And that's exactly the sort of arguments that you see for religion.
Right, but who would defend that?
Yeah.
If it was really being done to someone, you would think it was a cruel thing to do.
But there is a lot of time wasting that goes on with people who believe in the supernatural, like those people who are psychic consultants for detectives, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they come in, and apparently some number of policemen actually believe that they are capable of discovering stuff about the case that nobody else knows. And it's like, well, what's the harm? It's like, well, you're taking up police resources that could be used to solve the freaking case.
But really, when you think of, like I was talking with somebody earlier about the idea of project management and using the prayer, not just in terms of maybe somebody spending 20, 30 minutes a night, but using the concept of man hours, where you just take all the combined hours that are put in by people to do this, like prayer groups, prayer circles, and people that are praying independently, blah, 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 and you put all that together and you say how many man hours are really wasted every year on people doing this instead of, I mean, when you're using an intercessory prayer where you're actually asking for assistance with something, this is a situation where you could be using that time to improve your situation, because that's exactly what you're trying to do with the prayer. And so that 20 or 30 minutes put forward as an effort to help you in some way could literally be put in really helping you. It could be another 30 minutes on monster.com looking for a job, or another 30 minutes boning up your resume, or another, you know what I mean? That's significant when you're talking about, 30 minutes a night for one person. But when you start adding up like millions of people, it's a huge, huge wasted effort.
Exactly. I mean, it's something that economists take very seriously as something that drains the economy when, or efficiency experts come into the office and they say stuff like, oh, look, if you move the copier over here, then everybody would save 10 seconds every day going back and forth to the copier. So I was going to mention that there is actually a new phone number, so if you have the old phone number saved, then you'd better take a note of it. Of course, as soon as it came up on the screen, full lines.
Yeah, exactly.
We're actually in a different studio today. It's a place where we were years and years ago, and it's nice and big and cavernous. You guys can't see it. It looks about the same, but it's pretty cool. Barely makes up for our shortened time span. And this is going to be the one and only time that I'm going to go ahead and say this number on camera. So use it responsibly. It's 512-472-2255. So you out-of-towners, make a note of it, and of course only call when the show is going on. So we do have full lines, but our diligent screeners are busy doing their job, so I don't know who they are yet. So do you have anything else to say on intercessory prayer?
Yeah, just that I added to my analogy the idea that, churches actually will charge people by way of promoting tithing and saying that people have to tithe as part of their memberships, basically, so that when you join the church,
you're money as well as tithe.
So what if I, in addition to throwing out their resume, charged them for the service?
Oh, yeah.
And then I said, well, what about churches that teach that, for example, you can pray for your child to be healed, but you can't take them to a doctor? So what if, in addition to me taking these people's resumes, I said, you have to give me your money and you can't independently seek a job? And then I threw their resume in the trash. Yeah, I mean, it just gets worse.
It just occurred to me, this is not a hypothetical scenario, because my fiance has been looking for a job, and she came across an ad a few weeks ago, which said, she responded to it on Craigslist, and then she was immediately got a response saying, how soon can you interview? So she schedules an interview for the next day. She's all enthusiastic and excited. Oh, I got an interview. That was so easy. And then the interview that she signs on to turns out to be a chat room, or give the appearance of a chat room with like 200 people in it. And a bunch of prefab questions. And we tried typing stuff into the chat room, and you know, you weren't actually talking to these people. But it was like recruiters.com, where they were apparently recruiting other recruiters. So I said, this is an MLM scam. Close the page.
Wow.
And then for several days, she got like lots and lots of constant messages saying, you know, we still are able to interview you. Why don't you get back in touch with us? Even after she mentioned that she was not interested in this. And it just makes me so furious, because a financial scam is one thing, but to take advantage of people who are already down on their luck looking for a job at the moment is just disgusting.
I absolutely agree.
We have an actual call.
Yes, we do.
Shall we go to it?
Do it.
Okay. One thing I didn't mention in my new abridged announcements is that we're still going to Threadgills after the show if you're local to Austin, but because the show is shorter, dinner is sooner. And Hulk mad. Sorry, we just turned green for people who are listening at home. But yeah, anyway, show up at like 6 instead of 6:30 now. Still Threadgills, right after the show. Daniel in Los Angeles.
Hello.
What?
Hello.
Hello.
Is it Dan?
Hi.
I have a question.
Okay.
How should I tell my parents I'm an atheist?
How old are you?
13.
Okay. I'm sorry, I have an urge to look up to my left because we've got a speaker up there, and it sounds like the voice of God coming down at us. You're 13,
and
so you're going to be living in your house for another 5 years at least, probably.
Mm-hmm.
What are your parents like?
Really religious.
Okay.
Like what does really religious mean in your house?
Like, we go to church every Sunday, right? And my mom's a Catholic and my dad's a Jehovah's Witness.
Okay.
How do they get along?
I don't know, but they do somehow.
If I were in that situation, I'd be tempted to stir up trouble and identify the key points of where they differ on their religion and ask, hey, Mom, how do you feel about this? But I don't know if that's actually good advice.
Well, it's weird because on the one hand, I mean, if they're able to be respectful of one another with those sorts of differences standing between them,
that's a good point.
Then maybe what is okay? You know these people. You've lived with them all your life. What do you anticipate as a realistic reaction to this news?
Are you thinking?
Yes.
So you come forward, you Mom and Dad, I don't believe in God. What do you think they would react like based on what you know about them?
What are you going to see?
Because I used to believe in God, until I watched your show, and then I'm like, oh, God doesn't exist.
Okay.
And I was the one that went to church the most.
But I'm still not getting a feel for what you think they would react like.
Oh, they would probably like smack me or something.
Well, I mean, okay, the question comes down to, are they going to find out sooner or later anyway? Because if it turns out they're going to find out, and 5 years of living with them is a pretty long time, and as I've discovered, the longer people remain atheists, the more outspoken they get, and that makes it harder and harder to...
How are they raising you right now, Daniel? I mean, where do you go to church? How do you fit into this JW Catholic situation?
You don't know where you go to church?
Do you go to church?